Welcome to my channel. My name is Abhikshit Sarkar. You are watching Abhikshit Sarkar YouTube channel. So let's start today's video. So in this video, we are going to learn about a very interesting topic of physics, that is light. So we have to learn basics of light. What are the basics? So at first, what is light? A light is a energy. And light is a what? Energy. Light is a energy that is used for what? That is used. Light is a energy that gives us a sensation of vision. Means with the help of light only we can see the everything around us. If light is not there in any room, we cannot able to see anything. So light is a energy that gives us a sensation of vision. That gives us a sensation of vision. So this is the definition of light. So in this light, two types of objects are there, but it depends on the emission of light. So object depends on emission of light are of two types. One is luminous object. One is luminous object and another one is non-luminous object. Non-luminous object. One is non-luminous object. So at first, what is luminous object? So the object that emits its own light, means it produces its own light, and is not, this object is not dependent on any other object. It is independent. It is independent on itself, and it do not reflect the light of other objects. These types of objects are known as luminous object. Means the main property of it is it emits the light. So some example of luminous objects are a luminous object, sun. Sun is a very important example of luminous object. Sun is also a natural source of light. Natural source of light is the sources are also classified, because one is natural source and another one is artificial source. The natural sources are that the sources that are present by the nature, present in nature. There is known as natural source of light, like sun. Another one is artificial source of light. It is made by human beings or us, like tube light, halogen bulbs, etc. So sun is a luminous object. So other luminous objects are stars, fireflies, etc. Sun, fireflies, etc. And now what is non-luminous object? Now non-luminous objects are just opposite of this luminous object. It do not emit its own light and it is not independent. It depends on what? Luminous object. It depends on luminous object, and it reflects the light that luminous object produces. It reflects the light that luminous object produces. Like the main example of non-luminous object is moon. Moon. If you see at the night, moon is shining. But this word is fully wrong. Moon never shines. It reflects the light of the sun that is produced by the sun. So this is called, moon falls in the classification of non-luminous object. And other non-luminous objects are non-luminous object, anything in table, chair, anything are non-luminous object, because they reflect the light from the luminous object. Okay, so the next type of object. Now the types of object that I am writing is depending on the passing of light. Passing of light. These are classified into three types. One is transparent object, One is transparent, another one is translucent, and the third one is opaque object. Now, at first, what is transparent objects? The objects that passes the light fully are known as transparent objects. Means, if an object passes through the light through it through the object are known as transparent object. Like if I take a glass sheet and give light in the front of it, it passes out the light from itself. These type of objects are known as transparent objects. Examples are glass. Now glass is also classified. If you write frosted glass, it will not fall in the classification of transparent object. It goes in the classification of translucent object. So why translucent object? I am coming now. A glass and water. Water is also like glass only. It has to be pure and clean water. If dirty water, it falls on the classification of translucent object. And next, coming to the translucent object. Now, what is translucent object? The object that partially passes the light through it. Means, if I take a frosted glass sheet and give the light in front of it, it partially passes the light. Means, a small portion of light is passed by these types of objects. Like example, I am giving frosted glass, then dirty water, then tissue paper is also an example of translucent object. So I am giving etc. So the next one is opaque object. So by knowing the definition of this both object, you can just know what is this opaque object. So this opaque object, the objects that do not pass out the light through it are known as opaque object. Means if I take a wooden sheet and give the light in front of it, it do not passes the light. By do not passing, it blocks the light or absorbs the light. This opaque object, for example, opaque object in our surroundings, more of the things that are present are opaque object only. If I give table, chair, book, etc., these all are opaque objects. Now the light source is classified by its size. I have told you light source is also classified by its nature. Also means natural source of light and artificial source of light. And another classification of light source is I am writing it depends on the size of the light source. Means I am writing source of light. There are two classifications. One is point source of light. So now what is point source of light? The source of light, if the source of light is just like a size of the tip of a needle, you have shown the needle and this is like that, more thinner than it. If we saw the tip, just a tip of the needle, that much size only the point source of light is have to be. Then only it falls on the classification of point source of light. So if I give example, the point from where fireflies produces the light, these are a point source of light only. Fireflies, etc. So these are point source of light. Another one coming is the extended source of light. Extended source of light. Any source of light greater than a point source is known as extended source of light. Now if we see a halogen tube, it is also a extended source of light because it is greater than a point source. I am drawing a diagram. It is a halogen tube. These are light rays coming. These are all extended source of light. Now I am drawn this light rays freehand. If you draw the light rays freehand, no marks will be given by your teacher. You have to draw with scale only. So the source of light is also completed. Now a term is there that is known as this. This is known as photons. Now what are these photons? Light energy exists in small packets of energy. These energies are known as photons. I am writing a definition. Light energy exists in small packets of energy. This energy are known as photons. Energies are known as photons. Now these photons is also completed. Now if a light ray is traveling with this light ray, two more rays are present. One is the electric field and another one is the magnetic field. One is the electric field and another one is the magnetic field. So I am drawing a cube. So this is a cube. Now if light ray is going from this side, if light ray is going from this side, the electric field or the magnetic field, the directions are like that. These are magnetic field. The next, this one is electric field. And this is light ray. This is light ray. This is a diagram. Means if another property is of light ray is if magnetic field and the electric field goes far means near themselves, the light ray goes far from them. Like you can see on the diagram, these are near closer to itself, but this light ray is far away. So this is a structure. So we are now going to some mirrors. Now mirror is also classified into three types. One is plane mirror. The next one is the concave mirror. And the next one is the convex mirror. Concave mirror, convex mirror and the plane mirror. So plane mirror, the diagram of the plane mirror is like that. This is a plane mirror. And if you go to concave mirror is like that. And convex mirror is like that. This is concave mirror. And now what is a mirror? A mirror is a reflecting surface. A mirror is a very smooth reflecting surface. For reflection, a very smooth surface is needed. Very means less irregularities in the surface, then only that can reflect very nicely. So these are this happens in the case of mirror. So mirror classification is given. So now coming to shadow. Shadow. Now what is shadow? Now if a light ray from a source, a light ray is coming, it is curved from a source, a light ray is coming, this is source, light ray is coming, and in between the light ray a opaque object is placed. This is an opaque object, and opaque object blocks the light, and thus it forms a shadow. It forms a dark patch in the lower part of this object. The dark patch is known as shadow. Dark patch is known as shadow. Okay. So what a definition. Main real definition of the shadow is a dark patch formed when opaque object is placed in the path of light is known as a shadow. Now, due to shadow, a phenomenon is occurring. Due to shadow, a phenomenon is occurring that you all know about eclipse. All know about eclipse. Now, our eclipse are also classified into two types. One is solar eclipse. The next one is lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. So first going to the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Now what is solar eclipse? When in this phenomenon, the sun and the moon and the earth, this is a path. Now in this orbit, this all planets rotate. So at a specific time, this happens like that. This is the sun, this is the moon, and this is the earth. This happens in this sequence, so that this part of the earth for a specific time cannot able to show the sun. Means the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. So this is why, because the sun is giving out the light rays, and in between sun our opaque object is placed, the moon opaque object is placed, so a shadow is formed on the earth, so that this portion or the people living in this portion cannot able to see what's the sun for the specific moment. So the next eclipse is lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse. Now what is lunar eclipse? So like that only, if there is a sun, then here is the earth and this is the moon. And so the earth's shadow falls on the moon, so that this portion, the people living in this portion of the earth cannot able to see the moon for a specific time. This is called lunar eclipse. This is called what? Lunar eclipse. This also falls on in a phenomenon of shadow. So there is a term known as reflection. Now what is reflection? If we draw a plane mirror, and these lines I have given to denote the backward sides of the plane mirror, because the plane mirror is given here horizontally. So this is the plane mirror. Now if a light ray falls on it, by corresponding to the normal, it reflects the light. This phenomenon is known as reflection of light. In this ray that falls on the surface, falls on the plane mirror, is known as incident ray. This ray is known as incident ray and denoted by I. And this ray that reflects is known as reflected ray. And it is denoted by R. And this perpendicular line from the as depend on this surface is known as normal. Denoted by N. Incident ray that falls on the surface, reflected ray that reflects from the surface, and the perpendicular line is known as normal. So the angle you can able to see from here, from the normal and the incident ray, an angle is formed. This angle is known as angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. Spelling is different. Here is the incident ray, I-N-C-I-D-E-N-T, incident ray, and here is the angle of incidence, I-N-C-I-D-E-N-C-E. It's the angle of incident and incident. And the next one, the angle formed in between the normal and the reflected ray is known as angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. Now, angle of incident is denoted by angle I, and angle of reflection is denoted by angle R. Angle R. Okay, so this is the phenomenon. Now, you can able to see there is angle forming from the surface and the incident ray. This angle is known as glance angle of incidence. Glance angle of incidence. Glance angle of incidence. And there is also an angle forming between the reflected ray and the surface. This angle is known as glance angle of reflection. Glance angle of reflection. And this glance angle of incidence and the glance angle of reflection do not indicate by any short symbol. So here you can see that the incident ray falls at a point. You can see here this incident ray falls at a point in this here. So this point is known as point of incidence. Point of incidence. This point is known as point of incidence. So, next, coming to the next phenomenon. So, the next phenomenon we are coming to, next one is refraction. Refraction. The first one is reflection and this one is now refraction. The spelling is different. Refraction and reflection. Now, if I draw a glass sheet, I draw a glass. Now, if an incident ray falls on this glass, by don't reflecting, it is a transparent object. So glass is transparent, this is not a mirror. This is a glass, it's a transparent object, it passes out the light. So when an incident ray falls, depending on the normal, a refracted ray is formed like that. This have to be the direction. This have to be direction means not far from the normal, close to the normal. The refracted ray is formed. So here this is called incident ray. I am denoted by symbol I, and this is called the refracted ray. refracted ray, and these do not have any shortcut symbol. So this is refraction. So refraction is also completed. Now next, coming to primary colors and secondary colors. Primary colors. Primary colors. Now what is this primary colors really means too? Primary colors, the colors that are by which them, or by mixing all these colors we can able to get the white color. By mixing all these colors we are able to get the white color. So the definition is primary colors are the colors by which mixing all of them we can obtain white color. So the primary colors are red, green and blue. So there is a shortcut of remembering this. The shortcut is R, G and B. RGB. So if anyone saw the gaming keyboards, in this gaming keyboards there are an option known as RGB, means we can change the primary colors of this gaming keyboard. So RGB, R stands for red, G stands for green and B stands for blue. And if we mix all this color, red plus green plus blue, we can able to get white color. So this is not that oil pastels, watercolors, acrylic colors or these oil colors. These are the colors of light. So colors of light we can able to obtain if in a prism we pass white light, means if there is a prism is there, prism is known as a geometrical shape which has 7 sides, and if we pass a white light from a torch, it spreads out 7 different shades from 7 different shapes of light, that are green, red, indigo, yellow, blue, violet and red. Blue, violet and red. These are all the colors if we can obtain from a white light. So primary colors is completed. So the next one is going to secondary colors. Secondary colors. Now what is secondary colors? Secondary colors are the colors by which if we mix 2 primary colors together we can able to get a secondary colors. So that the equation will be like that: primary color plus primary colors equal to secondary color, stands for secondary colors. This is the equation. So the secondary colors are, one is magenta, the next one is cyan, and the third one is yellow. Magenta, cyan and yellow. These are all falls in the classification of secondary colors. Now if you thought how a color TV works, this is not black and white TV of old model, these are all color TV. So in the color TV, if this is a TV, there are very small dots. Many dots are present. These are all made of phosphorus. These are known as so made up of phosphorus and are known as phosphor dots. And each phosphor dot has a combination of RGB, means the red, green, and blue, the primary colors, and they combine to give out the other colors, means the secondary colors, and thus this is the working technique of this color TV. So next going to shadow and image. So shadow I have talked. Now the next one is image. Now image can be classified into two types. One is real image and the second one is virtual image. Real image and virtual image. Now what is a real image? Image that can be obtained on a screen are known as real image. And now means one I am giving real image only, the image that you obtain on the screen. Now if you have known the term pinhole camera, there is a pinhole, there is a box is there, and here there is a pinhole present, and a candle is flamed in the front of this pinhole, and from here the light passes and it forms an inverted candle. So this image formed by the pinhole is known as a this is formed inside the pinhole here. So this image is known as real image because it has formed in the screen, means the backward side of the pinhole camera. So real image is completed. Now next one is virtual image. Now what is virtual image? The image that we can the image that cannot be obtained on a screen is known as virtual image. Now the image that forms in the mirror, means if we go and stands in front of the mirror, we can able to see behind the mirror, means inside the mirror there is a image is forming. Only like us only, these types of image are known as virtual image. So it cannot be obtained on the screen, it can be shown in the mirror only. So this is virtual image. Now there is some image forming in the plane mirror has some properties or characteristics. So first one is the image is laterally inverted. Now from here we are able to get a term lateral inversion. Now what is lateral inversion? If the means I go in the definition only first, going through the interchanging of the left side to the right side of the image that of the object is known as lateral inversion. Now say this is a person and he has rise up is this hand and down like that, and standing upon a mirror. This is the mirror, and the image of this person forms like that. Here this hand is right, but the hand is just opposite than the object. This is called lateral inversion. So this is the object, this is the virtual image. I am writing image, and this is the mirror, plane mirror. Okay, so this is the first property. So I have already told the next one is the image is a virtual image. And the next third one is it have to be erect. Now erect means what? if we stand in front of the mirror, the image is not from like that. The legs are at the upwards and the head is downwards. It is just erect like that only of the as comparison to the object. Then only it is known as erect. And the last one is, and the fourth one is the image and the object. Sorry, the image and the object have to be same size. Means if we stand in front of the mirror, the image formed of us is also as same. The size is same than the object only. So same size. And the fifth one is the distance between the image and the mirror is equal to the distance between the object and the mirror. So if I give object equal to O, mirror equal to M, then image equal to I. So it will be easier for me. So O to M equal to, this is 2, O to M equal to M to I. Means object to the mirror is equal to the distance of object mirror to the image. So this is completed. Now if there is a term that a shadow I have told, a shadow is always formed behind the object, is always formed behind the object. The lower part means at the downward surface, in the surface of the object the shadow is formed. But this image is formed in front of the object. Image is formed at the in front side of the object. So this is now some equation are there, that if there is a plane mirror, we draw a reflected ray as incident ray and the reflected ray, and this is a normal. And if I am given this reflected ray, incident ray is 30 degree, so find the glance angle of incidence. So how can you find? So you have to know that this is perpendicular to perpendicular means this normal is perpendicular to the surface. So normal equal 90, and from the 90 how much degree is minus? This 30 degree is minus because of the angle of incidence. So from 90 we minus 30, we get the 60 degree answer. So glance angle of incidence equal to 60 degree. 60 degree. Now if we tell that what is the glance angle of reflection? What is the glance angle of reflection? Now if the glance angle of incidence is 60 degree, glance angle of reflection is also 60 degree, because there's some loss. Yeah, loss. Now what is the loss? This equation is completed. Now I'm going to loss. Now loss of reflection. Reflection have some loss. So there are two laws only. One is the incident ray and the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection is always equal. Means the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So the next one is next law is the angle, the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray all lies at the same plane. You can see in this mirror, this is the incident ray, this is a reflected ray, and this is a normal. This all lies at the same plane. I don't have to prove now. This we already proved that there is an incident ray, reflected ray, and normal all lies at the same plane. Incident ray, reflected ray, and normal all lies at same plane. Same plane. These are the laws of reflection. Now, coming to the numerical part. So this is different from that one. So there is the plane mirror. If there is a normal and if the incident ray falls just at the distance like this one, like that, 1/1, it falls, means the incident ray falls on the normal. And so what is the direction of the reflected ray? Direction of reflected ray. Direction of reflected ray. If the normal is so incident ray is like that, then the direction of reflected ray is also in that part only. Now, if I give to here, what is the glance angle of incidence? The glance angle, it do not have minus any type of angle, so it is 90 degree only. Glance angle of incidence is 90 degree, and so that the glance angle of reflection is always 90 degree. So this is a numerical. Now, if here is given how to make a image form of a image of a point object. Image of a point object. So a point object. This is the last topic of this lesson. So image of a point object. If we give a mirror. Now this is the object. I have denoted the object from O. This is the object, and you have to measure it with a scale and give an equal distance from there by the other characteristics. Okay, from here I am making the image. So this line is not important, only for. Okay. This is the object and this is the image. Now from this image, two rays comes out from a dotted line, and from like that. No, first we have to draw a eye, means the observer we have to draw, and from here a line comes out and goes at one eye, and another ray comes out and goes at another. Yeah. So behind the mirror all the lines are imaginary, so it had to be given by the dotted lines. But in front of the at this of the image object sides, you have to give bold lines. Now what we do, simple thing is just meet it with the object. Yeah. So this is the formation of image of a point object. To draw it with the scale. So this lesson is completed. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon near it. So let's meet you in the next video of this channel.